Hello, all. Welcome to CR Investors Friday's Free for All Friday show. It is now 5 o'clock Pacific time here in the West Coast. I've put up here by default my little market grid page that I watch in after hours. I suppose we can talk a little bit about what we've seen here over today's trading day. I was in the crude market today and I was able to clip a little bit of this rally here, so I was happy about that. It was a productive day for me. US dollar index gyrating all over the place. You can see the volatility in the euro here, and the yen, the same thing. The gold market relatively quiet into the weekend. Of course, I think probably the story of the day has got to be Bitcoin and the remarkable rally we've seen there of late, including the sell-off. So whenever you see this kind of technical pattern here in the market, that's, in my opinion, actually it's quite bullish for the short term. Commodity-wise, Canadian dollar is continuing to sell off against the U.S. dollar, which leads me to believe that this rally here in crude oil may not be sustainable. Australian dollar, same thing, heading lower. Keep in mind these are FX rates, so Canadian dollar here, futures would be the other way around. And our sort of proxy for Asia versus North America demand, the Australian dollar Canadian dollar spread is widening. So it looks like we're in for some volatile times here over the next little while, which I guess typically makes sense. I'll see if I can load it up here. Sometimes this is a bit challenging here. We'll just load the trading view. Then we'll head back to the home page. Hopefully that's what you can all see right now. Yep, that looks to be the case. So the YouTube site address has been posted. I'm just going to go on mute here for a moment, and while I am on mute, I'm just going to advertise on the TradingView community that the show is on. So I will be right back. Hey there, good evening. So, just so that you're aware, this is just a free-for-all Friday kind of idea. I don't really have any set program or anything. I just, on my schedule, I said that I was going to have the show on. So here we are. I've put the tweet out and the TradingView messages and all that, and some people have messaged me, but there's certainly no, set plan here or presentation or anything. If you have questions, feel free to use this time to pick my brain. We can talk about any old market you want. I don't really see anything really surprising going on in the markets. It's just business as usual. Trying to. Do you know how to put background music on these things? That's what I'm working on right at the moment. Which probably isn't too. I do not, but I will look. Okay, cool. I mean, I think it would be really cool just to have some nice, quiet classical music playing in the background or something. Let's see. Hopefully, the screen share shows my grid. This is sort of like what I watch out of the corner of my eye all day long. You're more than happy to ask about any of these questions. This is sort of my after hours grid, my during market hours. Let's see. How do we do that? It's not that one. Da, 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 da. Where'd it go? I put it over here. So this is what I look at during the day, out of the corner of my eye. Like I said, if you have a question, feel free to ask. If you have a microphone, feel free to chime in. I can talk about my little crude oil trade today. I did a half decent trade, probably left a bit of money on the table, but that's, I could always talk about that if you're interested. I love to leave money on the table. We had weekly options expiry. Let's see if I can pull this up. So I published a chart on my crude oil day trade today. So we can always look at that. All right, what's this? Don't have a mic. I'm a college kid learning at the moment. I enjoy your style, though, as you seem to have good risk management. Yeah, well, that's what it's all about. That's the only way to survive in this game. In fact, I was funded by this company that I work with in Chicago, running this one trading model last summer, and it was just such a good model. Oh my God, it's just brilliant, and they just loved it. I had like a 90% win rate, just kicking ass. And then when I got funded, I got access to some of the other trading floor guys, and I really wanted to learn how they traded. So I put all my totally kick-ass trading system aside and just tried to do what they did. And after a while, the company started to get a little pissed off here, and so they're like, "Brian, you got to get back to work." So I've been running the bot on crude oil lately, and it's been doing very, very well. So let's see, where would it be? The problem with a guy like me is that I am very mechanical in my trade setups, and I need to be mechanical, or else it leads to anxiety. So there's a lot of mechanics that go into this. But this is the day trade setup that I did today, and I do little write-ups on these day trade setups. Anybody can learn this model. It's not that difficult. If I can learn it, then anybody else can. But in essence, there was an initial burst higher, and that confirmed this double bottom. Then we had a nice consolidation. Beautiful little doji in here, right on the trend line. That's just beautiful. But in essence, you just take the distance of this consolidation. Let's see if I can change the scale of this. There we go. And let's make sure that you guys can see what you can see. All right. So this distance, and this really isn't the best chart to use, unfortunately. These published charts they don't give you that much room. But anyway, so this distance here, and this is crude oil specifically, was 103.51 to 103.06. So that's not bad, you know, that's like 45 ticks. You know, nice simple rally, 45 ticks. And the concept is that that's not the whole move. That's only half the move. And usually in the stock market, and I can just pull up any old chart here. Alright, so all I want is just a blank screen here, so I can use it as a chalkboard. Alright. Where were we? Yeah, okay. So usually in the stock market, a move from point A, right, to point B is actually, yeah, I mean, you would think intuitively that it would just be a straight line, right? But actually, that's not how the stock market works. Usually within here, there's an initial burst, then a pullback, then a move to the ultimate target. It just sort of seems to be the way the universe sort of works. So this distance here is the same as this distance here. And so that's basically the principle. The actual name is AB equals CD, harmonic price pattern. Right? So you can Google that at any point in time. And this is just basically how it is. And the way it works is the way the trade is set up is that if you are anticipating this move here, right? This point here, you just break that into quarters. So 1 quarter, 1 half. I haven't broken the 3 quarters. I like to get a little bit cheeky and put it at 66, but that's another conversation. And in essence, if you risk this part and your reward is this part, then the trade has a built-in 3-to-1 risk-reward ratio. And so if this harmonic price pattern is playing out in the market, then this low won't get taken out. You know? If it is taken out, then that means that harmonic price pattern isn't valid. So that's half the battle in itself. But anyway. So, you know, like we said, we have about a 50-cent rally in crude prices. They consolidated nicely. And for the bot to come alive, the consolidation needs to be between the 33 and 66%. So that's what that number is, 33, and that number is 66. So doink came down into that zone, perfectly fine. Nice consolidation afterwards. Basically, that's my setup. As soon as I get some sort of technical reason to get in, I got to go long. So I bought here at 103.37. And you know, that's half the battle with, in fact, I was listening to a psychiatrist talking today, where it's not really so much your setups are valid or not, it's just that when the setups come in, are you going to pull the trigger? I've got built-in rules as to what I should do, and the interesting thing here is my rules didn't really help me today, but anyway. We hit the 50% level, that's the stop to break even, so as soon as we hit this 103.48, boom, stop goes to break even, so at the very worst, it's just scratch. This is this 66 I was talking about earlier. If you get 2/3 of this move, at that point you should start thinking about locking in profits. And I was a bit chicken shit today. You notice that it got up to this level here. It flirted with it for a bit, and I was just like, what the hell, I'll take profits. So I took 16 ticks, $160 on the trade. So, you know, now the irony of it all is it did go straight up to the target. And I literally left about 15 ticks. I left about half the trade on the floor. But, and then, you know, if you can ever get to the point where you trade multiple contracts, then, you know, once you've either hit these two levels here, then your stop on the second contract goes to break even and you just forget about the second one. And this is a great example of why. Because sometimes you can just get markets that just keep going and going and going and going and going. And so that runner would have made a shitload of money today. Excuse my French. So anyway, that was my day in crude oil. Made money. I was profitable. That's all that matters. Followed the rules. Followed the system. Live by the results. And that's the day trader's life. You know, I put in my commentary here. These arrows look all messed up. I don't know what I did here. Guess it was like that. In the commentary, I even posted about how I should probably wait about 10 minutes before moving that stop to trailing, because had I done that, I wouldn't have gotten out of the trade. But anyway, hindsight's 20/20, right? So I'm getting a message on TradingView, so let's see what's going on over there. Hey, can I get the YouTube link? Oh, sure, why not? So that was my day in crude. I see there was a bunch of fireworks in good old Bitcoin. What's interesting is I did a write-up on Bitcoin yesterday. You know, and this fail up here was just so telegraphed, eh? Such a shame. I don't know whether you all out in YouTube land or you here, PHEG. I don't know whether you guys got to see our show on Wednesday, but I was really interested. Even through that show, Fibber was our permabull was leaning rather bearish. So you know, we all sort of left the show feeling like, oh boy, you know, things don't look so good. And what's really interesting is if you go back and look at the published history. Where is it? You can literally watch Bitcoin top out here, you know. So, you know, here this was 6 days ago. BTC stair-stepping its way back into resistance. So this was as the rally was going on, and Fibber went long there at 420, and everybody else was like, I don't know. So he was making bacon through that. And then the next post. BTC at a crossroads, so we did work our way up into the OTE short sweets zone. You see how that red box is there? It's fascinating, eh? Like the red box was posted, you know, ahead of the price action. All right, so we worked our way up into the box, and it was interesting because I had 3 orders working here to sell all through that box, and I only got 1 fill. then oh no, we're breaking down, you know. So this chart was, before our Wednesday show, and it was just in the process of breaking down, and Flibber was like, well, I think this 428 will hold, and all of us were like, oh, the bear ABCD targets, they're way down lower, and now where are we here? Okay, so that's crude. And then kaboom. So we did fail there, and we collapsed. And, interesting to see how the previous cycle, where Fibber wanted to go long at 420, but everybody else was short, that was through the bottom of the trend channel there, and we rallied right back to the top of the trend channel. So we got back below the trend channel again, and what I found fascinating when I was sort of watching all the comments yesterday was, just how bearish and everybody was. So if we look at this, we had the 13 EMA and the bottom of the trend channel there, and a move back above these recent highs might represent a double bottom, and if so, I shall pay close attention to the indicators suggesting at this point, should a bottom come in and we recapture the trend channel, the current OTE short sweet spot where institutions will seriously consider shorting again is right at the significant battle line noted on the chart above. So, at this point, we're like, all right, well, if she's going to rally, this is where she wants to rally up to, and this is this battle line at 445 or whatever. And then I'm off trading crude oil today. So then I come back and I look at this silly thing, and sure enough, I mean, it's absolutely astounding. Let's see, where is it? BTCE 1 hour. I think I have it on here. And look at that. So we rallied right back up to the top of the trend channel. Now, interesting here, the trend channel itself, bit of resistance, but we do have a bot working. So you saw how that worked on the crude oil just a moment ago. The bot here, there's your rally. The rally's from 340 up to 417, so that's $77 or so. Consolidation lows 378. It was into that 30%. Now notice how this bottom, not nearly as clean as good looking as that crude oil bottom, but nonetheless an interesting fractal pattern here, and we've been working our way higher. Now you'll notice that, here's my silly rules. So, I got to sneeze, so. Excuse me. Where was I? Oh yeah, so the bot was is marching along here, long from 397. Stop to break even level looks to be, what the heck is that number? Probably not the best. Let's do a nice big dark blue. There we go. So stop to break even is at 416, so we've hit that. Stop to trail is 478, so that's interesting. So we've got to trail. According to my crude oil model, I should have waited 10 minutes before I move my stop. I like the idea of a stop now being right here. So what's that? 409.30. So I would say your stop right now on this long should be 409.27, we'll say. See if that gets hit. So that's sort of what I see going on the old Bitcoin, and the target on this little bot, believe it or not, if she can get her act back together, is 454.5. So that's interesting. And here's my good old OTE short sweet spot, 451. So never a dull moment in Bitcoin land, I suppose. I've made the argument that there's no way you're going to get major institutions to invest in Bitcoins and consider them their currency or whatever with all this volatility. I mean, this volatility is just too much. It's got to calm down. As long as it's this volatile, it's still very much just a speculative play, in my humble opinion. All right, so let's see. I'm pretty sure Fibber ended up getting in again around 4:30 today. On the stamp? Oh boy, hope he didn't buy up there. What a knucklehead. Well, we'll see what happens. It's funny because there's a few people that I was talking to and they asked sort of my advice, and I said I really like that 375 area. That was a daily OTE long sweet spot. Let's see if I can find it. Daily. This is the BTCE. A little different. But so this is this 375 right here. That was the OTE long sweet spot. There was this big candle here. These lows were 375, 382. So I thought they needed to be tagged. So, and that's basically what we've done here. It's quite remarkable, really. Oh, what's that high? 1,095. I hate when I do that. What's this though? This is 75, right? Yeah. All right. So the OTE right there, 375, sure enough. And you know, there was a guy in these conversations the other day. I even did a tutorial with him, and he even said, "I'm gonna buy at 380," and this was up when it was like $400, $500, $600. So I'm gonna buy when it's 380. So here it is at 380, and I was talking to him, and he pulled his order. Oh, poor guy. Drives you nuts when you hear that. So anyway, that's the kind of day it's been. I think a lot of manufactured nonsense going on in the market with regards to options expiry. I noticed that the crude oil basically was a total trap today. I mean, here's the sad part about it, right? There's the rally, and you think, all right, big bull market, big bull market, big bull market, and what an insult. Big bull market, and then in your face. What's interesting is that this right here, where I have my cursor, is exactly options expiring. And literally right on the options expiry, the market just fell apart. So that led me to believe that a lot of this rally here was phony baloney because somebody was propping up the market here to make sure that an option closed at a very specific price. Let's see if I have that chart around here somewhere. So this is the chart that I did up on this week's options expiry. And I noticed that they had a nice payday here. I noticed that there's like 1,700 calls on each side on this side, so that almost looked like a spread trade to me. But they really screwed these people, and because they actually closed the market 37.45, so all of these people that bought these calls, those calls expired worthless. Only 300 puts got exercised and one put. That seems a bit odd. All of these puts, 500 puts, 800 puts, 1,000 puts, 900 puts, all of them expired worthless. So that in itself leads me to believe that this move was quite engineered. I don't know whether you actually saw that screen, so what happens if I go like this? Oh yeah, you see that, okay. So that's the kind of day it's been. This silly Bitcoin, I don't know where the heck it's going. But, according to our models, really, I mean, I still think you should be looking for 437 up to 454. That's what I think. All right, so, I think I'm gonna go fill up my beverage, take a little bit of a break, go see if anybody on TradingView wants to chit chat. Think of any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to take a look at anything. Talk to you in a bit. Going on mute. And if you could figure out how to get background music, I think it would be so cool. Anyway, cheers. I can't figure this sound station out. It's too complicated. All I want is just some little background music, but it's so tough. Thought maybe I could just run a I was hoping maybe I could just run a YouTube video, but I can't even get the silly videos to load here. I don't know how you're supposed to do this.
Do you know how inconsiderate it is to smoke when you're pregnant? God damn it, have some thought for your baby. Acknowledge.
Can you see this on air right now? Can you see this on air right now? I can't for the life of me figure out how that works. Anyway, somebody's messaging me. Do something on your show. This is boring. So somebody else wants to pop in and say something. Let's see what they have to say. So, how does this work? Can you see the video now playing? It looks like the video's playing. Anyway, I don't see video. Yeah, when I click on my box, it shows it's showing that perpetual 3D thing again. Let's try this again. So that's playing in there. It's very difficult to figure out. So do you guys hear the music now? I think I screen shared the. I think though if you screen share, you don't volume share though. Doesn't seem to be coming with it. No, it's because I'm talking too. I suppose I could just turn the volume up. So, do you guys see this? I don't know whether you hear this or not, but Google Hangouts just popped up a message that says this Hangout on air will end if you continue broadcasting content you aren't authorized to use. So they don't like me streaming this YouTube classical music. Isn't that a shame? I wonder if there's a list of music that you are allowed to use. Okay, now I don't know what's going on. Why do I see two of me here now? Well, we're discovering new technology as we go. So, like, they just do not want me to be playing this YouTube video in the background. Isn't that fascinating? Huh. Maybe I'll leave that open so that I can... Oh, now it says I've left there. Oh, isn't that bizarre? So, P-Heg, can you, or Peg, I don't know how to pronounce that. Can you just type something in the chat and let me know that you're still here with me? Okay. What's another sort of YouTube-ish type of site? Is there any other kind of YouTube site out there that I can just clip some SoundCloud? All right, let's head over there. And by all means, anybody out in internet land, if you have questions about the market, you'd like to chat about anything, feel free to ask for the Google Hangout address. And pop in and let us know what's on your mind. This is Free for All Fridays with CR Investor on YouTube, having a party. Woohoo! Had a profitable day trading crude oil today. Posted the link on my webpage, so in the YouTube, well, I guess the Twitter feed. So if you want to pop in, feel free and take a look at that day trade. All right, so let's see what this SoundCloud is. Just hang out on there while if you continue broadcasting content. Interesting. So I wonder why it keeps giving me this message. Is this screen the screen share of TradingView shouldn't bug them, should it? Isn't that odd? Maybe it wasn't the music after all. I guess I'm gonna have to send them a message. What the heck are you guys talking about? Look at that. So they have a little contact us button, and the contact us button says, "Sorry, you're not big enough for us to even give a shit about you. We're not gonna bother talking to you." Isn't that funny? I have no idea where to even go from here. And I suppose this SoundCloud's probably going to cost money too, eh? Not a shame. Very frustrating. It's too bad the direction the internet's gone here. Corporate America has taken over. Wasn't like this 10 years ago, that's for certain. But oh well. The Hangout on air will end if you continue broadcasting content you aren't authorized to use. What the heck does that mean? Yeah, I was told that I have been told on a number of occasions by the TradingView people that they're going to try and do videos internally. I mean, I don't mind this this Google Hangouts, but I don't know. Google, it almost feels like Google has kind of like a hidden agenda behind it. It just doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right about this. Anyway, what can you do? So we've got the major, this is my grid that you're looking at on the screen right now. These are basically the markets I like to keep an eye on after hours trading. During market hours, I like to have this grid up, basically showing the bonds, US dollar index, volatility index, S&P 500, Dow, NASDAQ, the gold, the silver, and the oil. During market hours, I'll have these ones up as well. US dollar index again, the euro, yen, crude, gold. Threw Bitcoin on here just because it seems to me that it might be worth paying attention to over the next while, and it's a good after-hours trader. That's sort of why I kind of like these Bitcoins, is it's because it keeps you active over the weekend. I personally like to follow the commodity currency, so there's Canadian dollar versus the US dollar, Australian dollar versus the US dollar, and then to get sort of an idea of regional demand, what's the spread between the Canadian dollar and the US and the Aussie dollar. If it's moving in Australia's favor, then that tells me that there's more economic demand in South Asia. If it's moving in the Canadian dollar's favor, it tells me there's more economic demand out of North America. So that's a nice little proxy there. That's been sort of my day. As I said before, we had options expiry today, so there were some interesting issues there. It looks to me like crude oil is putting in a bullish ABCD pattern on the weekly charts. If that's the case, then our target is about 111.31. Nice fractal bottom here. You can see the bull ABCD. Here's the bot setup. So, and the great part about the bot is, it doesn't matter if it's a 5-minute chart or a 5-year chart. It's basically the principles are all the same. So, pretty much long from this 1183 area. Stop to break even was almost hit today. So probably be looking for that over the coming sessions. Stop to trails 106.56, and like we said, our target, which would basically take out these old highs, is 1131 area. Let's see what else we got here. There's my nice little day trade setup. There's the Bitcoin meltdown, and the interesting battle at the bottom of channel line there. Suppose we could always just take a quick look. What screen do you guys see? Somebody else asked me for the Google Hangout address, and I thought they were going to be along shortly, but I don't know what happened to them. God, it was so nice having that music in the background. What happens if we just go free background music? Melody loop music. What's this? Oh boy. So this was called free. Google searched free background music, and so this came up. So I don't see how Google can get upset at this. Not nearly as nice as the classical music. Probably. Anyway, if you have any questions, I suppose I can just turn it down manually. If you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the text box. And anybody on YouTube, let's just go check that page. So, Beauty, did you see that message on the Google? It's let's see if I wrote it. This was the message. But it doesn't say what content. Is it the screencast? Is it the music? I don't know. So interesting here to see the DI actually had a sell signal in the broader stock market, a fast sell signal here yesterday. We've been working buy signals, fast buy signals on the bonds, the gold, and the oil now for a few days. So all of those trades are profitable. Long-term signals seem to be working well too. We've had a sell signal on the U.S. stock market now since the 17th. A buy signal on the bonds since the 12th. A sell signal on the gold since the 19th. And a buy signal on the oil since the 7th. Way to go, DI! Yeah, I see, Peg, you see the chart here just on the screen share. You can see she's surging to new highs, eh? That's a nice, that's another bot in itself, just this smaller chart pattern. Interesting to see how Bitcoin itself is not responding here, eh? Not yet, anyway. Really cool site. I found somebody put in the links list the other day. I love this. You can break everything into 4 different things on your screen. I don't know how to do this. Look at the volume coming in here on BTCE. volume coming in on the stamp as well, eh? I think this is stamp. You're talking about Bitfinex? Let's see what we got there. I don't think I have this. Oh, wow. Look at the volume. Nice volume. See, nice find, thanks. Was experimenting with the cloning trend lines like you were saying, and I got about the same area as you were saying for your OTE short zone. Yeah, it seems to be, eh? That's the cloning the lines is just a simple bull ABCD, and you'd be surprised how often it works. It's stunning. So good to see somebody got something of value today. Maybe let's pick a new soundtrack to listen to. This one's getting a bit old. Let's try this one. Ooh, how about this? On the way to success. Oh, that's getting groovy. I like this. The best day ever. Let's see what the best day ever is. Oh, let's see your chart. Yeah, so that's a little. That's the latest ABCD. The first arrow on the left-hand side, I would draw that low actually off of the total low, all the way down to the bottom. Yeah, and then clone that and project that off of that next low. Yeah. Yeah. Gee whiz, look at that, same area. Isn't that incredible how that happens? Yep, that makes sense. And the thing is, on my hourly chart, this OTE's zone up here, right? This is where the institutions are going to be shorting it. So they're going to get the public all bullish. Hooray, 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 the bull market's on. And then whack it back down. It's too short. Longer saw. Willie looks a little stupid there, eh? What's that? Did that just happen? That's our. And then do a similar those arrowed lines. Do a similar one off of the recent little consolidation here. You're gonna have to shrink it down though, because it's got to be smaller, right? So bring your second arrowed line down to the height of that rally. Yeah, there. Clone that. And then project that off of these lows. Then take that other arrow and put it back where it originally was. Do those two points line up? Draw a horizontal line off of those two points. Yeah, somewhere around there. That's where the market wants to go. Problem is, it might just smack it there, you know, in a heartbeat, and then you don't see that price again. But who knows? Never a dull moment. I don't like how Willie's getting pretty overbought here, eh? Means we're awfully late in this move, not at the beginning. Look at that beautiful little double bottom breakout on Willie down there, eh? That's sick when you see that. Oh, yeah, there. See how it's a little bit to your left, right off of the lows. So you had a nice fractal bottom there. You see that fractal bottom? And then Willie just put in a nice little double bottom, nice and stupid oversold. Away you go. And so you can see why I came up with the name stupid, right? Because really, anybody who sold into that sell-off, they were just acting in a panic. They were really dumb. Yeah, well, the point is my silly little 2 rules of investing. If you follow them, by definition, you know, you're not going to be ever put too much money into any one trade. Problem is, people don't like my rules. And it's during bear markets like this that they come to appreciate them. During bull markets, everybody wants to be 100% long. Sounds to me like the chat's picking up a bit more. It got pretty quiet there, eh, through that meltdown. Wow, now we're seeing BTCE surge here. You see my screen? Holy power move, Batman. Look at that. Isn't that weird? So my 60-minute doesn't look nearly as crazy as yours on the Willy. But I guess you could argue it is getting overbought. Look at this huge momentum divergence we got working here now. It just seems to me that the path of least resistance right now is up. The path of least resistance is up. Yeah, well, you know, if I look at my screen, you know, like you saw how when Willy went stupid oversold there, right? I mean, just because it's in itself was stupid oversold didn't necessarily mean that that was the end of the move, right? And it just kept going and going and going and going. And then finally, Willy put in a nice double bottom there and broke out through the oversold zone. And that's the way you're supposed to use stochastic indicators, is that the signal actually comes when they move out of the oversold zone. So, you know, just because we are, you know, getting stupid here, that's not a sell signal in itself, but it certainly should be a warning. Don't go and buy here. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question, Peg? Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, ideally, if you had taken that trade, the best thing to be doing, in my opinion, right now would be to be slowly spoon-feeding the market, whatever stock or whatever it is that you bought. You know, like I think it'd be a good idea to have an order here at this 61.8. And you notice that that's right at that 200 period moving average, right? So, you know, there's two nice simple reasons why that represents a resistance line. Usually it is. The death cross. Yeah. Most people, you know what's funny in this securities business is you come up with cute little names to describe these events, and sales managers just hate them. You know, I used to call Microsoft Mr. Softy. And I remember, you know, old stodgy sales managers, they used to hate that. So, I don't know what screen I'm showing here now. Yeah, you can see it. So just looking at Stamp here. But moving average, boom. And moving average, boom. And we'll go 200. $50. There it is. You're right. The death cross. That's not a good sign. And really, you know, I've made this argument with people before. The best thing that Bitcoin could possibly do for the Bitcoin community is for this thing to go absolutely sideways. As long as it has this stupid volatility in it, then there's no way the broader business world is going to latch onto this thing. That's my opinion. Looking at this stamp, the fact that we took out that low there, right? This low here, this is a massive double top now. So it goes boom, 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 right? So the fact that we took out this this key low here, maybe we didn't. Let's see. Yeah. So this is the battle du jour, and you're right. Quite often I find with moving averages, the actual moving average event itself, ironically enough, will actually usually spit up a rally in the opposite direction. So I totally agree with you. So what I could see here, right, is the moving averages cross. Everybody's bearish, right? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then you get a bit of a vacuum. And within that vacuum, that's where the counter trend rally pops up, right? You can make an argument that if the market was just left to its own devices, if there's no more selling pressure, it's just the whole rubber band theory, then we probably ought to get back up into here. All right. This is the area where the institutions want to short. Right in there. How do you get that Bitfinex? Is it the same thing? BTC USD? And then you just go in the Bitfinex thing? So that's interesting. Your Bitfinex has not crossed yet. Do you notice that? Are you in Stamp or Bitfinex? No. But, what I see here is just a pattern of lower highs and lower lows, right? I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. That's not a bull market, that's a bear market. As soon as we start seeing higher lows and higher highs, then we can start getting bullish again. There's just nothing to do here. I'll show you an example of a bull market. This, in my opinion, is a bull market. This is what you want to start seeing on the Bitcoin. It's higher highs and higher lows. Oh yeah. So this is the kind of price action we need to see on Bitcoin for me to start getting super bullish. It's a good question. This is a weekly chart, right? So the daily chart looks like that. So if you look at that, what I would say is that this is a double bottom, right? It's actually a double bottom within a double bottom. So you have, here's the wider bottom here, right? All right, there's the wider bottom. And then you also had a really tight little double bottom in here. Whenever you get these double bottoms within double bottoms, they're very powerful. Does that make sense? The weekly, I always like to, whenever I'm thinking about investments, I always look at the weekly. So it gives me sort of a broader perspective. You know, I mean, God, I got one here that we did. If I don't look at it at the weekly, I'll get vertigo. So here's the weekly to give us an idea of where this thing can go. But then if I go down to the daily, you know, and you zoom in, it's just like, holy free holies. That's a hell of a rally. And actually, according to my little prognostication, I drew this up back on this day. Actually, my little forecast wasn't too far off, but I'm actually looking for a pullback here. But sometimes you can't see the big picture. Well, ideally, I would like to write this option and get exercised. Write the put option and get exercised. So I want to be a shareholder. The put option itself offered a situation where if you just hold the stock on margin, you got paid more than the margin requirement to hold the stock. So basically you get paid to own the stock. How does that work? Can't believe I figured this damn thing out. And the interesting thing is you see the dotted line there, right? That's when the system sped up the signal. So you took this is all the heat that you took. Your average cost base on this trade is $10.80. And it just who knows? And you know, like I said, when you look at the weekly chart, who knows where the heck this thing's going? You know, probably a fib off of here is probably realistic, and that's probably what this box is. Yeah. So 15 bucks probably looks good to me. That would be a 50% return on this thing, which is not bad, considering you get paid a nice dividend. But, you know, because of the fundamental valuations, this is the kind of name where I would be more than happy just to park it in the portfolio and just collect the dividend for the rest of your life. And if you can get the stock for free, then what the hell, eh? Anyway. So, WDB's... And I didn't see anything too startling in the screen yesterday. Alright, so what do we got here? We got AEG, this is Aegon. No screaming hell there. AKG, well, no, nothing really exciting there. AOU, this is this stock has just gone ballistic lately. Nothing really there. This looks interesting. This Namtai Electronics trading at 0.83 times book. They've got no long-term debt, only 1.6 times cash. For PE right now is 436 at 4 times earnings. They actually pay you a little bit of a dividend to own the stock. Interesting name down here. Premiums aren't that exciting. I love these 200%ers. Basically, the market, if you write this option, it's a $5 strike. The margin requirement's $1.50. The option premium is $3.10. So basically, you collect twice what the brokerage house is going to ask you in margin for this stock. This is absolutely incredible. That's a steal. Just look at the book value. 0.7 times book. I got no debt. I mean, they're not doing anything right now. They're in the gold business, but you're buying assets below book, of which a dollar of this is just cash. Um, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have to come down here, but I just don't think that put's going to go up too much more from here. Anyway, so there's another European financial stock. Looks a bit technically weak, but really interesting fundamental story. And another financial stock. These financial stocks keep coming up here. So this guy's trading at 0.9 times book, a little over 2.6 times cash. We got $4 in cash on the books, paying a small dividend on the stock. Problem is, I think financial stocks are going to have a bit of a tough slog here for a bit. You know, they say sell in May and walk away. Anyway, it's about 10 to 7 here, so I think I'm going to wrap this up fairly shortly. If you can think of any last questions you want to ask me, feel free to pop them in. You got my undivided attention right at the moment. Other than that, I'll just be quiet for the next few minutes, and we'll let this 10 minutes ride itself out. Enjoy the wonderful background music I found. Hopefully Google won't be all pissed off about it. Look at that, we just took out those highs. Son of a gun. So on BTCE, the 61.8 is 437.37. Here we are, 436.50 is our high. Stamps really broken out here too. All right, everyone. I think with we're nearing 7 o'clock here at 6:55 on the West Coast on a Friday evening. Very profitable day all around. Looks like Bitcoiners are being rewarded for their patience. I think I'm going to wind it up here. Our Hangout guest has decided he's done asking questions, and this was just supposed to be a free-for-all Friday after event, so there wasn't really anything in particular I wanted or needed to talk about. I see Beauty watching the show in the lounge, and I hope you enjoyed yourself. It's pretty quiet. I would like to try and get some background music sort of fed into this. I don't know whether that worked very well. I'll listen to the video later on tonight and sort of judge how that went. By all means, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a poke on tradingview.com, and I'll be more than happy to help you out any way that I can. Other than that, you all have a great evening. All the best to your family and your loved ones. And we'll see you all tomorrow for CR Investor and Low Pro's trading plan show, talking about specific risk strategy setups, how to work fear out of your plan, or maybe even embrace fear. I listened to an interesting seminar on embracing your fear today. Have yourselves a great evening, and we will see you all very soon. So have a good evening, all the best, and we'll talk soon. Have a good night, all. Bye now.